If you're in Rome, you don't want to miss the National Etruscan Museum. This is a great national treasure, in my personal opinion, because while everyone is going to the big name museums, you will be here at this museum getting the same knowledge and the same benefit, but for a better price. First things first, when you're going to the museum, make sure you can take a taxi ride. If you don't want to walk, of course, I would recommend using FreeNow, and you can go from your hotel directly to the museum. I also recommend that you don't buy your tickets in advance on all of those apps that you will see when you're going to Rome. I highly recommend going directly to this museum and buying them there because they charge you a premium when you're actually getting your tickets in advance. And like I said, a lot of people are going to the really big museums, so you can save some money going to this one because I don't feel a lot of people know about this. But if you are an art lover just like me and you're one of my subscribers, make sure you don't miss out on this museum because you're going to get a lot of enriching artwork to view as well. If memory serves me correct, there are, I would say, about 3 levels when it comes to the museum. It is really big. So make sure you do have like good walking shoes and that you have a really good charge on your phone with an external battery pack, because that phone is definitely going to come in handy when you are reading the prompts. I noticed not everything is translated on the walls. So if you really want to read like more information of what they have on the walls, make sure you have a Google app where you can translate what you're reading to English or whatever language that you do have or, of course, speak. That is a good tip that I had. I'm so happy that I actually knew that and I can actually read everything in the prompts to my mother with us together. So after going through the double doors, this is basically still considered the first floor. It's like a really long hallway that you will have when you first enter. You can actually go to the left or go to the right. Of course, when you go to the right, there is, of course, more artworks as opposed to the left, because it's almost like you enter off of almost the end of the building. So when you go through, you will see just how it's set up with seeing a lot of pottery, a lot more information about the Etruscan civilization, which is really informative because if you are someone that really loves history, you would know that it's really hard for people to pinpoint where the Etruscans came from. Also on the first floor, I would say would be this bucket list artwork that everybody should have on their bucket list, especially if you're in Rome. It's gonna be the sarcophagus of the spouses. Anyone that has taken art history have seen this image, I'm sure, at least once. So make sure while you're in the museum, especially if you are on that first floor, like everybody will be, because you're gonna go through the door, make sure you do see this artwork. As you continue on, you will encounter some steps that we do have here. If you did notice that big box thing on the left, that actually is their lift that they have for people that are disabled. So that's a big positive of the museum. I would still consider this to be the first level, even though they did have some stairs to go up. There weren't really a lot where I would consider this to be the second level yet, but they do have this area that will have more busts, more pieces of architecture when it comes to the Etruscans before you go to the second level. So this is the second level. There's my mom again. You're gonna see her a lot in this video. Sorry, not sorry, kind of, but she refused to move. But either way, this is the second level. If you look down, like I'm about to show you, you will see the sarcophagus of the spouses down there from which we just came. On this level, you will see a lot more pottery. You will see more everyday objects that the Etruscans use, such as mirrors. There are a lot of edged mirrors on this level. So you'll see that in the little towers that we have, and of course, just more, like I said, everyday objects that they actually use, and some little figurines. So there are a ton of figurines, as you can see around, and you will need to use that Google app like I recommended to be able to read all the information, because not everything is 100% translated. But as you're looking at everything, you will see just the incredible work that the conservators did with piecing all of these little parts back together. that's one thing that you will be able to read in their little explanation. So here we go. We have some more stairs. So this would be, I would say, going up to the 3rd level. And then we'll see what we will see up there. Oh, look, just like clockwork, we're already there on the 3rd floor. And you're not very tired from walking around because it's magic. But anyway, here's some more pottery that we have. It's a long wall this time around. So really, really beautiful layout. I don't know if you're taking the time to actually see how their layout is, but that is one thing I would say about this museum that is really, really great. You're beating the hustle and bustle of the other museums that I'm sure if you already have been in Rome or are you still in Rome right now, I'm sure you've already encountered that. That's one of the things that you can't fight when it comes to traveling, but this one is a really overlooked museum, and I really don't understand why, but because it's overlooked, it's, to me, in my personal opinion, a much enjoyable experience, just because I had the time to really take my time, look at everything in the museum, and just stroll at my own pace. Because when you have that hustle and bustle, people are constantly like moving around you, and if they're not moving around you, they're in your way looking at the same like artwork that you're trying to look at. Then there's tons of people just taking pictures of everything. So this museum is definitely a treat if you are trying to still explore but beat some of those crowds. One thing I do want to add about this museum is it doesn't really have an eating area for you. They do have like a little coffee station, but when I did go, it was broken, so I really couldn't get any coffee. And it's not a cafe. So that's one thing that is different about the museum. Whereas some of the big museums, they have like the eating areas that you can go ahead and go to, and then they do provide you with, the little coffee bar and everything. This museum does not provide that, which it's okay, to be honest, especially for the price that you're getting and the other positives that you're getting when you're going to this museum. So those are two things I did notice that they don't really have. They do have, of course, bathrooms, but the bathrooms are outside of the actual museum area. So when you're walking around, like if you saw the front of the video, that's where the bathrooms will be. But how the layout is of this museum, it's more so like a square orientation. So you walk around, go upstairs, then you go back downstairs, and there's like, I think 2 more flights down because we went 2 flights up. But otherwise it is, I would say, in my personal opinion, 3 levels, but you go all the way up to go back down. So that is one thing. And then you will see some more artwork. I will provide like a little list of the important artworks that you can see, but there we go. We have the exit already. Pretty quick video. Hopefully these tips will help you when you go ahead and visit the National Etruscan Museum. Like I said, I definitely did enjoy going to this museum, even though it is a little underrated. I thought it was fantastic because if you are an art lover like me, then you don't want to miss this one, because that's one of those important just little pieces that you should see. And here's another artwork that is very important to, of course, the art world. So that is it. Let me know how you guys' trip to Rome was. Was this video helpful for you? What other places would you want me to go over, basically, when I do travel next? But hopefully this was very impactful for you guys, and just comment your experience that you had in Rome below. I would absolutely love to hear it. But until then, I will catch you guys next time on my next trip. Bye bye.